Good evening and welcome to Omnibros I'm Omnidog. I'm solo for right now while my guest hosts get their video games set up. Special video game edition of comic-based video games in honor of the new Spider-Man game that everybody's flipping out over. I don't have it yet because I'm still stuck in this stupid part in God of War that I can't get out of, but I'll figure it out. This is a good time to segue into our sponsor, which is InStockTrades.com. InStockTrades.com, where you can get up to 50% off your collected editions. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. Every quarter, there's an Omnibroslive discount. And over $50 in orders gets you free shipping in the United States. I still don't know how they do that, but they do it. Fabulous packaging and fabulous service. That's InStockTrades.com. Okay. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you, Shinsawaga. So we're starting on time, and that means I'm starting alone because I'm the only one that's ever on time. Hey, Spartan Blue, what's happening, buddy? So, video games that are based on comic books. That's the topic. And I have to say, I can't do this one alone because I've played approximately 2 of them. I've played on the N64. I did not play Superman. Thank goodness. I played Turok. I played 3 games of Turok Dinosaur Hunter. I believe that was based on a comic book. Those were great games. I enjoyed those on the N64. And then the first Batman Arkham game, which was what? Arkham City, Arkham Knight, Arkham Death, Arkham, I can't remember. I don't know. The first one was great, where he was thwacking around everywhere. That was great. The second one, not as pleased with because it was too big of a sandbox for this guy. I am not very good. I do not enjoy sandbox games. In that second Arkham game, it was like Batman point A to point B via 9 different things he had to do. I'm just more linear than that, man. I want a linear game. Just this is your goal. Go there. So that's how I roll. I'm not a good sandboxer. So let's see what's going on in the chat. Let's see. Timothy Ramon finally bought something from IST. Good job, dude. Turok was Valiant Comics. That's what I thought. PlayStation 1 Spider-Man, best superhero game ever. Any other answer must be for second place. Well, I didn't play it, J-Rock, so I don't know. But I am going to get Spider-Man 4 just because I'm not... Well, I am going to get Spider-Man 4, but I'm going to get it after Red Dead Redemption. That's the game my daughter and I want to play the most. And that is the sequel to Red Dead Revolver, which I played several years ago. Do video games that became comics count? Yeah, I have a comic Centipede that's really good. And that became a comic. That was a good video game. Let's see. Spartan Blue, it's going well. Picked up the new Darth Vader trade paperback that came out Wednesday. Good, good. Absolute Killing Joke and Darth Vader OHC Volume 1 with the Alex Ross cover for a good price. Also did well on an exam. Good for you, Spartan Blue. Darth Vader is one of the best comics out there today. That omnibus was full of nothing but goodness. And that's not just my humble opinion. That's fact. So there you go. What do you think of Up the Beach by Jane's Addiction? I like Up the Beach. My favorite Jane's Addiction song is And Then She Said, or Then She Said, rather. Then She Said is my favorite Jane's Addiction song. Let me make sure that I'm pronouncing that properly. My daughter's texting me about fantasy football, so I can't answer her question. Let's see. From Richard. Then She Did. My favorite song, and I mispronounce it. Then She Did is my favorite Jane's Addiction song. So there you go. Tomb Raider, Overwatch, and Sonic the Hedgehog. Those became comic books. Okay, great. I never played Sonic, never played Tomb Raider, and never played Overwatch. Although I might play Overwatch if I could be a healer. I'm not good at shooting. Even though I take over the shooting parts with my daughter in games like Uncharted, I do all the shooting for those. She does all the exploring. That's how we go. But if Overwatch, if I could be like a healer and go in and heal everybody and then just hang back, that sounds like my kind of game. No, Red Dead Redemption is the sequel. Red Dead Revolver was the first one. Iron Cardinal, don't mess with me. I played these games. Yeah, the new Tomb Raider we'd probably do. Is there shooting in that? Because if they're shooting, I'll do it. I don't like creeping around, and that's why Assassin's Creed is a perfect game for us too, because my daughter loves sneaking around, and I don't. I like to shoot. She loves sneaking around and climbing things and exploring, and I like getting in a good firefight. So that's why Uncharted is good for us. And Assassin's Creed. Yeah, it's fine if the woman is the main character, J-Rox. We're fine with that. We're playing Uncharted Lost Legacy right now, which has 2 female leads, and it's really good. Unfortunately, we're getting close to the end, so we're sad. I think we're on chapter 8, and there's only 9 chapters. So, but it's been great. There's been lots of exploring. So, first one is Redemption. I'm also holding it in my hand. Iron Cardinal, are you sure? Okay, wait. I thought the second one was called Red Dead Redemption and the first one was called Red Dead Revolver. Let's see. Well, if you're holding it in your hand, you must be right. Red Dead Redemption 2. Oh, okay, Red Dead Redemption 2 is what it is. All right. We're both kind of right. But I think Red Dead Revolver, wasn't Red Dead Revolver the very first one, and then Red Dead PlayStation 2 is what I played it on. Okay, Red Dead Revolver is what I played. Then apparently there was Red Dead Redemption, which I did not play, and we're waiting for Red Dead Redemption 2. Iron Cardinal, plus 10 for you. Good for you. Yes, and the chat is we're going to get a lot of people on this chat. They're just all going to be late. I think we're going to have like 4 OmniBros on tonight. They're just all going to be late. No, they're coming. I just got text messages that they're coming. So they are coming, but they're just going to be a little bit late. They're all setting up. One has issues with children. The other has issues setting up his games because he may be trying to stream the games while he's playing them. I'm not sure. And the other one is busy making dinner or something. So they'll all be here. So I'll just chat with you guys in the chat. That's fine. I'm happy to do that. Let's see. What other games am I playing? Well, I'm playing Primal, which is a reboot well, not a reboot. I thought it was redone. It's from PlayStation 2, and I thought they redid it for PlayStation 4. And the camera's just as wonky as it was for PlayStation 2. I got to get used to this thing. It was my favorite game on the PlayStation 2. It was really funny and really snarky and had a lot of good action. Those of you who don't know it can look it up. Primal is the name of it. I really enjoyed it. No, Tyler Trent. Omar is dealing with the kids. Ryley is trying to stream his games, and Lou is making dinner. That's good guesses, though. Hello to David Codd. You guys should do a 5-hour stream one weekend. Oh my God, you guys would pass out and die from boredom. 5 hours. So yeah, did I mention IST? Yeah, I did mention IST. And so I'll show you what I got. I got special cereal. Maybe I already showed it to you. That's too bad. I'm going to show it to you anyway. Batgirl with a special Batgirl pop. Batman with a special Batman pop. This cereal's awful, so don't eat this cereal at all. Here's two that I got that I know I haven't shown you. I almost knocked my laptop off. Beetlejuice with a beetle pop. And Gollum. Precious. With Gollum. And there he is. Ryley. What's up, Home Slice?
Not much. Are you eating the cereal that tastes like doo-doo?
Yeah, I was running out of things to say, so I was showing him my cereal.
Who are you showing?
The chat.
Oh.
I've been live for like 13 minutes.
Fuck.
I wanted to start on time for once, damn it.
I understand the need for speed. Yeah, I had to stay late at work and drive in, and so I got in like at almost 7 o'clock, and then had to feed the dogs and all that stuff.
No worries, mate. No worries.
So what's happening? We're talking about some Vidya games.
Vidya games, yeah. Jesse, say what? I've read half the Batman 66 Omnibus, and it's fun.
Does it remind you of when you were a wee lad?
It does, especially with the makeup over his mustache.
Oh man, I still haven't. I've been catching up with some stacks of manga that I was behind on, and so I'm not into that one yet.
Tyler Trent is asking me if I'm excited for 20th Century Boys Perfect Edition that's coming out next week. You know me, of course. What even is that?
That was you, Jess. That was such good acting. I think that you should take over as the new Superman.
Superman Prime.
Yeah, Superman Prime. You can punch the multiverse.
I can punch the multiverse. And there we have. First we had Ryley Mo, and now we have Omar. Omar, how's it going, buddy?
It's going good. How are you guys? Sorry, I was running a little late.
If we fused, we'd be Ryley Momar.
I'm not sure if I like your first name first. That's yeah.
Well, it's Ryley Mo and Omar, so Ryley Momar.
Okay. I'll give that to you. How are you guys doing this evening?
Good.
I'm good. I was actually here on time, you late son of a bitch.
You are full of shit. I doubt you were here on time.
I was here 3 minutes before you.
And now, Ryley, do you have a video game up and running that you want to show us?
I haven't pressed anything yet. Sorry, my wife wants me to try the fajitas that she just fajitas.
Oh, okay. Tyler, you were right. Ryley is making dinner. Tyler Trent, that is. There's Tyler Blunt jumping in with Maximum Carnage.
Oh man, that's a Gabe favorite.
That's not a game though, is it? Or is it?
Yeah. It's
Oh, it is?
yeah, that's what the comic books are based on. False.
Wait a
False.
second,
Yes,
Omar.
false. That is not why you believe everything you read or watch on the internet.
I don't believe anything you say, so that was my first clue.
Well, my friend, that is your loss. That is your loss. What's going on, Spartan Blue? Have you guys talked about video games at all? Because this is like one of my favorite subjects. I was like dropping my kids off. Like I let the car roll into the driveway and they're on their own. I don't even know if they made it into the house.
Like, get out. Bye.
Tuck and roll. Video games are something that I always enjoyed since I was a kid, and going to the arcade. And then progressively you see it like get better and better in home consoles, right? Because graphics, like back in the day when Superman in 1988, it was a Taito arcade game. It was a 2-player. It made no sense, right? But you just punch and then shoot your beams, and that's it, and kick and fly. But there wasn't like no home version of that game. It was just the arcade, and it was amazing, and it blew me away. And then later on, like towards the years of Nintendo, like in '89, this is probably regarded as one of the worst video games based on comic books, but it's X-Men. It was the
I
last.
thought you were going to say Superman N64.
No, yeah. That is a horrible game. I remember renting that. No, X-Men on the Nintendo. It was by LJN, and it was right before I think they sold to Acclaim or something. But anyway, it was horrendous. It was difficult, and it had very, very little to do with the comic books, but I loved it. It was awesome.
You know what was like really hard and is like infamously hard was the Silver Surfer game on the NES.
That at least had a killer soundtrack, so it's a little bit memorable, but X-Men had none of that. None of that.
Speaking of X-Men, I have an X-Men question for you two X-Men experts.
Mm-hmm.
I just got this yesterday. Is this Jean Grey?
Yeah, that's been great. Where have you been? Do you not listen to me and Ryley when we talk about things? No, apparently not. You only listen to his recommendations.
That's right.
And you take credit for them.
I do not.
Well, maybe if Omar's name went better, because Omar recommendation doesn't sound right.
Omar recommendation? That's not bad. Anyway, I'm excited for this book because it's Tom Taylor and it's got Gabby and Laura in it, and I might read this tonight. I'm excited for this book.
Yeah, it's a good book. I love that book. I'm also enjoying the new X-23. I don't know if you're caught up, Ryley.
Ooh, I heard that's really good.
Yeah. It's really, really good. I'm digging it. I'm liking what Tomasi, who's it, Mariko? Can't remember which sister's working on it. Is doing on it. It's quite excellent. So what games have you all haven't even talked about?
There's still stuff to make the.
Well, I'm doing the thing. I told my wife that she can talk too, because we're gonna be playing video games, and my wife honestly plays more video games right now than I do.
Right now, my whole life.
Your whole life you've played more than I do.
Well, she should be on the show then.
You mentioned called X-Men Red, Spartan Blue. X-Men Red. It's a new trade paperback. Pardon me for interrupting.
It's not okay.
Not at all.
So you mentioned Omar going to the arcade, and when we were talking about doing this topic, one of the things that I was thinking about was going to the arcades and playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 in particular.
Oh yeah.
That game was legit, man. Like
that was one of my favorites. Like the fighting, it's weird, right? Because I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, I was launching into discussion, but I was going to say, like, I never had it on a home console. It was always one of those that I would play at arcades and stuff. I was playing it at wherever, the putt-putt golf place that had it. And I remember they actually had it at the movie theater that I went to when I was younger. And when I got a job at that theater, they removed it like right after I started working there. And I was pretty devastated because I loved that game.
What's up, Luis?
Hey.
Luis has joined us.
This is gonna be a awesome episode.
Hey.
I think the
You
old
keep
Curry.
talking about your video games.
Yeah, totally.
Oh.
So I was about to educate Jess on some knowledge here.
Oh.
So,
Yeah, as usual, he thinks.
but he's not gonna listen to me. Later on, like a year from now, somebody's gonna say it, and he's like, "I didn't know that," and I'm gonna be like, "Jess, I fucking told you that like a year ago."
Actually,
That happens all of
I
the
listen
time.
to you all the time.
All the time. So this is the game that kind of kicked off that whole Marvel era. This is X-Men: Children of the Atom, and it was kind of weird because Capcom, was known for their fighting games, and then they had some home consoles because they got the rights to do Marvel games. So what's pretty wicked is that this was their first fighting game with Marvel characters, and of course they went with X-Men because what's more badass than a bunch of mutants? I mean, and then you had Spyro and Silver Samurai, and then they decided to do the greatest thing ever, right? To have a crossover, to have this game right here. This is the Japanese version on the Sega Saturn because this is the superior version. The PlayStation could not handle the graphics of this game because the RAM was not powerful enough. But this is X-Men versus Street Fighter on the Sega Saturn based on the arcade game. And this was the game changer. This was when Capcom said, fuck it, we own the rights to X-Men. We got all these Street Fighter characters. Let's put them together. And so it became X-Men versus Street Fighter. And of course, that went into this thing when they were like, okay, we got all the rights to the Marvel characters and all the Capcom characters, and they threw out Marvel superheroes versus Capcom or Street Fighter at first. And holy crap. I mean, I just remember I was 20 years old when that came out, and I would not leave the arcade until they came into the home systems. That was such a memorable time for me. And that I was like, I could not wait until the Sega Saturn got him, and then the Sega Saturn got killed, and I'm like, oh my god, what's the next console? And then the Dreamcast came out, and that's the first system that got this game right here, Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Do you still have your Dreamcast?
Yeah, I do. I sold most of my games, but I still have
Awesome.
my Dreamcast. This is my PlayStation 2 version, and I love this game so much, as Ryley did, that I got the damn PlayStation 3 version. Exact same game. However, this is the messed up thing. It's not a game. It's an actual code that you download. So there was no disc for this. It was just a case that you got it. I think it was a GameStop exclusive. And they gave you a code. The voucher came in this case. It's ridiculous, but that's the way it was sold. So Marvel vs. Capcom 2. This is probably my favorite one out of the bunch. This and I don't think anything beats X-Men. Marvel Superheroes was pretty tight, but Children of the Atom was awesome.
I loved Marvel vs. Capcom 2, and the third one, I remember buying that when it came out on PS3, and I was honestly kind of let down because it wasn't the second one. Like, it was fun, but it wasn't the same game.
Well, and then when they were doing the fighting games if you had a Super Nintendo, if you still had a 16-bit system, they had the X-Men game on the Super Nintendo. Then Sega did their own thing with X-Men and then X-Men 2, Clone Wars. And X-Men 2 Clone Wars was freaking amazing. Like that game is great. Now I think that was 95, I think. And then on the Super Nintendo, they released X-Men and then the Marvel Superheroes game. It was just a side scroller game, but they wanted to go ahead and just pump those games out. Are you playing Captain America or Avengers?
Yeah. Can you actually see that?
I
Kind of white it out.
can kind of tell what it was by the music and.
I couldn't. Yeah, I'm really bad at this right now, apparently. But this one I was gonna mention was one that I grew up playing on the Sega Genesis. I got a copy of it used at a video store, and I thought it was the coolest shit. And me and my friends would sit there for hours playing together, and I think we made it eventually to the last level in the game, but we never beat it. But it was just one of those cool these are like my favorite type of, aside from like JRPGs and Zelda, my favorite types of games in the 16-bit era were these, brawler like beat 'em up type games. Another example of which would also count here as a, based on a comic, would be the TMNT game that especially most of us growing up around the 90s would have played at Chuck E. Cheese. That one was legitness.
There were two of them. Turtles in Time was the sequel, and the first one, of course, was just Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
Right.
No, I'm sorry. On the Nintendo, it was called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade game, even though it couldn't handle, those graphics. But they packed like another level, a whole lot more foot soldiers. No, they added 2 levels and 2 bosses. So that was really cool. By the time we got to the Super Nintendo, you could have those kind of arcade graphics like they were doing. So I think the Genesis got like the Hyperstone. I can't remember what it was called. And Super Nintendo got the Turtles in Time. Then they had the Tournament of Fighter or Turtles Tournament of Fighters. That was the Konami's fighting game. And each version in Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Genesis had different fighters. So it was pretty wicked. So yeah, 4-player Teenage Mutant Ninja. You all have played the 6-player
The X-Men?
Yeah, right? Like the arcade cabinet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that based on Pride of the X-Men.
Yeah.
That was so amazing. Like the first time I ever saw the 6-player arcade cabinet, and it just blew me away. Oh my god! Like I'll never forget that moment. And I think I must have spent myself $10 alone on that game. I think I made it to like the 4th level.
Those guns were designed for you to keep pumping coins in them.
Right. And I miss those days. I miss those. Recently, it was back in March. I went to Chicago, and I went to Galloping Ghost up there, which I did a video on my channel. They have like over 600 arcade machines.
Wow.
And just the sounds and everything and the coins going. It's just you pay like $20 and you play for as long as you want to. It's such a nostalgic like feeling when you walk in too.
You guys don't have like a video game bar over in Kentucky or anything like that? Because they're all the rage here in Orlando.
Yeah, we do, but it's one of those things that it's less video games and more bar that just happens to have video games.
Okay.
So it's trying to be very hipsterish, I guess. Yeah, we still have those in Kentucky. Hipsters.
Kentucky hipsters?
Yeah, no, we're late in the game a lot of times. But I mean, there are several like there for a long time in the arcades. I mean, you had Punisher, you had Captain America, you had Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. I don't know if y'all ever played that.
Yeah, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
Yeah, and then you had Asterix. Konami did an Asterix.
Oh yeah, I played that game. That was a great game.
So it's a 2-player, right? You could play as Obelisk and Asterix. Yeah, it was just Spider-Man. I remember the Spider-Man arcade game. That was in the 80s, and then you had the Sega Genesis and the Sega CD. They had Spider-Man versus the Kingpin, and Tyler mentioned Maximum Carnage. That was a red cartridge. It came in a big box. That game was.
They had
it was fun.
Of Maximum Carnage with some of the special edition one.
Yeah, there was a special edition. That was one of the first games I remember having a special edition box because it came in a big box. I think it came with a T-shirt and a comic book. Then they did I can't remember what the sequel to that was. It was a Separation Anxiety.
Separation Anxiety.
Yeah, that one was okay. Wasn't as fun because nobody really knew who those symbiotes were, those characters. Now I'm sure.
What made me really like it was because I was like, wait, what? I know Venom and I know Carnage. Who are all these other people? And I was really interested in learning. And I remember I never owned it, but I remember renting it multiple times on the Sega Genesis because I didn't have a Super Nintendo.
What game are you playing now, Ryley?
I'm playing Turtles in Time. I turned down the brightness, so hopefully it's a little bit more.
Yeah, you can see it better now.
Visible.
You're playing with Donnie because he's got that reach.
Oh, babe, could you turn the light on? I think that might help.
I too
Wanna-
have my own video game.
She's playing Mario Kart on the Switch right now, so she's busy.
So before, I know we'll talk about Arkham Asylum. I know Jess has played it, but before those games on the Nintendo, I remember there was Batman: Return of the Joker.
Yes.
Who was it? Was it Sunsoft? I think it was Sunsoft. And the graphics on that game in 1991 were almost 16 bits. My wife's making fun of me because I'm really going off here on video games. Shut up! Don't make fun of me. I'm cool.
Hey, that
We're
looks
making
better.
fun of you too.
That looks a lot better.
Yeah, there you go. You turn the lights on.
I don't know why I didn't think about that in the first freaking place.
Are you using your Raspberry Pi?
You
Yeah.
own every single one of those games right before you played them.
Yeah. Oh, I can play Bebe's Kids if you want.
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're good.
Batman: Revenge of the Joker. Whoops.
Yeah, Return of the Joker. Nintendo. Yeah, 91. I love that game, and I remember it just. Yeah, it was Sunsoft. Cool.
Yeah.
It had some really amazing graphics for the time because it was towards the end of the life of the Nintendo, and I didn't have a Super Nintendo, and this was like, oh, this is so good. And what else was there? And after that, on the Super Nintendo, there was a really, really good Adventures of Batman and Robin that was based on, of course, the cartoon. See, look at that, man. That's like Super Nintendo graphics.
This is.
Wait,
this is a
you're cheating.
Raspberry Pi. But
Wait, that's not the Nintendo version.
this is the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, the Nintendo version was the one I was talking about. But yeah, then later on they came out with a Super Nintendo and Genesis. But there was the Adventures of Batman and Robin, which was based, of course, on the cartoon, and each level was based on a different episode of the series, and it's such a fun game. And now this channel's just turned into a Twitch channel where I want to watch you play.
This is the poor man's Twitch right here. Like I don't know how to do anything with that, but watch me and my TV, I guess. I'm like really bad at these games though. Like I'm literally just playing around, like messing around with this shit because I don't look. I die.
Oh,
I die. Now what?
So
And
the thing with emulators, right? Like that I didn't know until I started doing a show because my buddy Rob is the one that's the video game expert. I didn't know this, but with emulations and ROMs, the way that it's connected to the television, you're off by just a tiny nanosecond from the moment your buttons, you touch those buttons on the controller. So the timing is off just because of the frame rate that the televisions are. Holy shit, everybody's in this show.
oh my
Whoa.
God! Is it Geo?
Geo.
What's up, Geo?
Can you hear us, man?
What? He was on.
Geo.
Wait. Oh! He was able to hook up some coconuts and he got internet.
Geo, you there?
Can you hear us, Gilligan?
Are you alive?
Oh. He's probably trying to get signal. He's standing right next to a window.
Yeah.
That game.
And that was your weekly cameo from Jim.
I think he wants us to mention.
I can't.
It's like we're getting this from Mars, and it's an alien life form trying to communicate with us.
Well, Jesse is surrounded by water. Big water.
It's called the ocean.
It's very wet.
So, Lou, before we continue into 1994 with Omar and get to 2018, how is Spider-Man on the PS4?
It's so good. It's so good. It's incredible. It's
What's
really
so good about it?
They absolutely nail what it feels, what you would imagine it would feel like to be Spider-Man. From the movement with the web swinging to his everyday life, it's fantastic. What impresses me the most is that they nail. Has nobody else played it here? I'm the only one.
No, man, I haven't even bought it because I'm just know that I won't be able to play it until.
Oh, okay.
I ordered a copy of it. I found it for $50. So after taxes, I guess I saved like 15.
That's cool.
So I was pretty excited. It should be here hopefully by the weekend, so Megan and I can play it.
Yeah, it's everything you would hope to be in that a Spider-Man game would be. It's in there. It's really good. I dig it simply because they get rid of the whole learning curve of Peter becoming Spider-Man. In this game, he's already 8 years into the job. So you just jump literally right into it. It throws you right into playing Spider-Man. And he's already got quite a few of his established rogues. And the further you go into the game, you start realizing, oh, he hasn't encountered so-and-so character yet. They drop little clues as to, oh, well, he hasn't fought this guy yet. One such is that he, thus far, at least as far as I know into the game, and I'm about halfway through, you pick up these things called backpacks. And the backpacks, they help fill in kind of the lore. And one of the backpacks, it has like a note saying, hey, Parker, great job. I hope you have good luck leaving the Bugle. Signed, Eddie Brock. So that tells you Eddie still isn't Venom yet, and he actually has kind of a close relationship with Peter. So they drop little stuff like that throughout the entire game, and it's really, really good. I mean, just from the gameplay, from the perspective, from the story involving the relationship with MJ and how she kind of factors in the whole thing. And they, so far, I heard an interview saying that Miles would play like a huge role in it. Thus far, he really hasn't played almost outside of 1 or 2 segments in the early parts of the game. He really hasn't played a huge role. But it's great because it's establishing a whole universe. And I think they came out today, one of the employees at the company that made the game, and saying, yeah, this is the beginning of an established video game universe. We're kicking that off with Spider-Man. So that's pretty cool.
And so what's the what's the difficulty level like?
Well, I play it on the hardest one right out of the gate.
Ooh, you are a badass.
I mean, I've been playing games my entire life, so if I play it on normal, most of the time it's just not a challenge for me, and I breeze through video games pretty quickly.
Well, dude, I've been playing video games my entire life, and I set it on normal, so I don't.
Yeah,
I don't set it on "Don't Hurt Me, Mommy," but I do set it on normal.
But to be fair, like video games in your life came like when you were like 60. That's when video games first debuted, right?
No. 1970 is when I got Pong.
How good were you at Pong?
I was very good at Pong.
Well, maybe we should enter you in a Pong tournament.
Omar, how do I beat this?
You get good.
Omar, you suck.
You get good.
Oh,
it's a
there
hard
we
game.
go.
Dude, it's an emulator. Just have a saving state, and you kids have it so easy nowadays. Save state and then go back if you mess up.
Papa Omar.
He's not wrong.
Help
Back
me.
Back in my day, we actually had to get good.
That's what I hated about GoldenEye. You had to start the whole chapter all over if you got killed.
Anyone remember Zelda 2?
Oh, yeah. Adventures in
Adventure of
Dreams.
Link.
Where you can't really play it without the damn guide? It's almost impossible.
Omar, I beat it without your help. Thanks.
I told you to get good. You took my
I got
advice.
good.
There you go.
I didn't get good. I got decent. Don't be silly, Pac-Man.
But I mean, if you, I don't know why you haven't picked this up if you're not a comic book fan. This is and even more so if you're not a Spider-Man fan. This is an easy buy. It's long. I mean, it's long for me because I'm taking my time with it. I've sunk in, I would say probably 15 hours, 12 hours, and I've only gotten about 50% done. So,
Well, Kind of
I haven't got it yet because I'm stuck on fucking God of War. I cannot get out of this one spot, and it's pissing me off.
Where you stuck? What do you got to do?
I gotta hit one of these revolving things, and then the stakes drop on these gongs, and I gotta hit the gong with my axe and call it back and hit all the gongs, and I'm like, gong, gong, dink, and I can't get all 3 gongs, and it's driving me berserk.
Oh yeah, you gotta do that quick.
Speaking of berserk,
Speaking of berserk,
When are we doing that berserk episode?
we should soon. Let's just hijack Jess's episode one day. We'll trick
Yeah.
Jess into doing a berserk episode. Like we'll tell him we're gonna talk about like titty books or whatever he's into, which berserk kind of falls in line with.
Yeah.
Okay, so you two have seen Berserk, and I know some reader, some of the viewers have.
Well, I'm only up to Golden Age and a little bit.
That's fine. So you've gotten to the Eclipse though, right?
Me? Yeah, I finished Golden Age. I'm up to the Moth bitch.
Oh, okay. So I had watched the anime in 1997, and it ends as the Eclipse is ending, right? So you don't know what happens. You don't know what happens afterwards.
Really?
Yes. And then I'm like, well, I got to know more. And back then in 97, in 98, I had the internet, but it was like really slow. So I was like, where do I go for this stuff? Because I need to know what happens. And then the Dreamcast had a game. And I'm like, oh, cool, a Berserk game. And so you're running around, and I didn't know what the hell was happening. I didn't know who this you're running around with a girl that is mute and can't talk, and she kind of looks like one of the characters in Berserk. And then if I finally put 2 and 2 together, I'm like, oh my god, that's what happened to that character. But the Dreamcast Berserk game was pretty solid. It takes place after the Eclipse, so it's almost like an escort mission. You have to escort Casca around.
Huh. Poor Casca.
Yeah. That's putting it lightly.
That's
This doesn't have anything to do with anything, but look, there's a Biker Mice from Mars game.
Oh god.
I swear, having the RetroPie is just like Netflix. I go through like 85 games and then I fall asleep. Like, I can play all these games, and then I start them and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot this game sucks. On to the next one. Yeah, and I do this so many nights.
Oh man, yeah, that's why like on some of them I'll play it and I'll be like, this game is ass, and then I just delete it on the self of the system.
Oh, what a RetroPie.
Pretty easy to make.
Oh yeah, they're not hard.
So Jess, what about you? What kind of video games have you played based on comic books?
2.
You played two? Okay.
I played 2 of them. Turok Dinosaur Hunter. I played 3 of those on the N64.
Good. I'm so glad you mentioned that. Those games were awesome.
I loved those games. Those were the first games that ever gave me serious vertigo. Turok would climb way up these cliffs, and you would look down, and I would like go, whoa! It was the graphics were so amazing. And then I think in the second one, the enemies could cloak themselves, and they'd wave bye-bye and cloak themselves, and then you'd have to try and figure out where they went. That was great. And I played the first Arkham game, which I loved and actually did beat. I don't remember that it was that hard to beat. I completed it. But I loved zapping around, Batman with the Batarang and the Bat Hook and whatever, hooking to the different places and solving all the things that way. So I liked the first one. I tried the second one, but it was just too big of a sandbox for me. I just did not. I'm not a sandbox guy. If it's A to B, I want to go A to B. I don't want to have to go consult Bane and then capture Catwoman and then find Red Robin so I can get to Joker's lair or whatever. It was just too much. I couldn't deal with it.
It's the way most games are, though, that are like them. I mean, not quite that big, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm just not big on the sandbox.
Call it when I used to play Legend of Zelda, my friends and I, we used to call it the pancake formula. Like, oh, you want pancakes? Okay, you got to go get some milk. Oh, okay, well, you forgot the flour. Now you got to go to another town to get flour. you didn't say you wanted syrup with that. Now you got to go to another country to get that.
Well, no, that is true. I do love all the Zelda games, and I don't seem to mind it in the Zelda games.
Yeah, well, I mean, the world of Arkham got huge, though, and by the time you're playing Arkham Knight, it's a whole new beast. But I'm glad you brought up Turok, man. That game pushed the Nintendo 64 to its limits. Dinosaur, that was an Acclaim game. And that was in the time when Acclaim had comic books. When we interviewed Fabian Nicieza, we talked a little bit about that. When he was editor-in-chief during that time. And then he decided to walk away. But, yeah, and then... there are comic book games that aren't that good. Like, where's Geo? Because I want to make fun of his Aquaman game.
That was on the GameCube.
Wait, that was a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, Aquaman on the GameCube, right?
How was that?
I think for anybody that had ever wanted a game based on Aquaman, like, it was such a disappointing game. It's probably, I don't think it's as bad as what's it called, Superman, right? It's not as bad as Superman 64, but it's pretty shit-tacular. It was on the GameCube, and it came at the time when, like, the GameCube wasn't pumping out that many first-party games, so they relied heavily on their third-party games. It was in between the Mario Kart and Smash and things like that, so that game kind of was a huge disappointment. Hey, Gabe, I remember that game. That's the Justice League Task Force is what Gabe's talking about. So
David Todd just brought up another comic book game I played, and that was Shadow Man. Oh.
For the Aquaman game, did you straddle a seahorse at any point?
I didn't get that far in that game. Hey, Iguana, you must be playing Turok.
Nice.
Look at those graphics.
Damn.
Wow.
Oh, I have good memories of that game.
Oh, Jesus.
Good luck, Ryley.
I don't know how I'm supposed to play this on a Super Nintendo controller, though.
You're doing pretty good so far. Your health is at 100.
Get good.
Good.
Ah!
Are you underwater?
Yeah.
This is Jello.
Okay, so that's a button that does a thing. I can't jump with this controller.
Get.
I don't think you can jump in the game. I don't think. I can't remember
anything but running.
Yeah, and then some awesome weapons towards the end.
And guys running at you.
I figured it out. I figured out how to jump. So we're oh my god, what happened? What is this?
All right.
I fell into the wall.
Tyler Trent has an important question because I'm curious too. Does anybody else play the Y-axis inverted? Because I do.
Hell no.
Do I even know what that is?
Oh my god.
You know, X and Y. Like when you're playing shooters.
It's like Red Dead with the Cougars.
Jess, am I losing you?
Yeah, I just play normal.
You play normal. Okay. What kind of answer is that?
Y-axis inverted. That is Latin to me. I don't even understand. I just however the controls are, the controls are. I don't change them at all.
You don't mind.
Down and down is up, basically.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. No, I don't do that.
Like in GoldenEye, you can do it in GoldenEye.
I shot this guy in the face.
I'm an inverted kind of guy because that's the way I live my life. Lionheart, we talked about Ninja Turtles Tournament of Fighters.
Oh my god.
All three versions in Turtles in Time. But Turtles in Time was so awesome.
Want to shoot a dinosaur?
Yeah, I have a gun to shoot that guy in the face too. Oh my god, I just saw something.
Oh, there's a dinosaur. God, I remember this game. It was so great.
Yeah, this is a good one.
That's anachronistic.
Megan just said that's anachronistic. You have a gun to kill dinosaurs. I don't think this was meant to be accurate, babe. Yeah, I also have a freaking
Don't make fun of my war injury, Gabe.
compound though.
And by war, I meant that one night I went into the brothel. So, video game, comic book games. What about you, Luis? Besides Spider-Man, did you ever get into any other ones like Shattered Dimensions? That was a Spider-Man game, right? Or something
No, I never played so many comic book video games because most of them were pretty terrible. To me, at least. I mean, I played a little Marvel vs. Capcom. That was fun. Played that. And the Arkham series. The Arkham series was a hell of a lot of fun. I used to love the Arkham series.
Yeah, Arkham's tight. I don't think I played the last one. I haven't played that one.
It's alright. It's not that great. I mean, in my opinion, I didn't like Arkham Knight too much. Mostly because you had to use the goddamn Batmobile for a chunk of it, and it wasn't that fun to play with.
You know what's cool is I didn't even like hit close to this guy running at me, and I killed him.
I love pixelated man boobs.
But he's got a gun and he's got a baseball cap.
Give me the ass. What was
What
that?
is this game even?
My wife is very confused right now.
His name is Turok, and he's a dinosaur hunter. I don't think it's that complicated.
But what, is he from the future and he's in the past?
You guys never read the comic book?
No.
Oh, you guys were Valiant guys. Did they not bring that back in Valiant?
No, that because he was a gold key character.
Right. Oh, they didn't get any of the gold key. I haven't read New Valiant. I
Right.
knew you guys had. Okay.
What part of the Valiant hype train of 2015 was it?
What is this garbage? Alexa, play Despacito.
Despacito. Alexa, play Stairway to Heaven.
I love bootleg Twitch.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, this should be a new weekly segment, bootleg Twitch, where Ryley just plays a video game for 10 minutes.
Whoa!
What?
Can I get that weapon, whatever that like scimitar
You
staff?
guys ever played the Injustice games?
Chat, let
Yes.
us know if you want to make this a real thing, bootleg Twitch.
Bootleg Twitch with Ryley. And you can see how bad I am at games. But keep in mind, I'm playing an N64 game on a Super Nintendo controller.
Yeah, good. Sorry.
I'm as good as I can get.
So tell me about Injustice, because I've never played it.
Oh man, I think it's fun. It's a lot of
fighting
fun.
game. A lot of fun. I like
Yeah,
it.
see, I'm not into the fighting games.
It's the guys that did Mortal Kombat. So instead of fatalities, what are they called? What are their fatalities called?
Ultimate something? I forgot.
I can't remember either. It's a fun game. I was more of a, this was my jam. The Street Fighter stuff was more of my stuff, not Mortal Kombat.
Superman punches a hole in the Joker.
Oh yeah, that came from the comic book, right?
Yeah, Superman punches a hole in the Joker because the Joker killed Superman.
I mean, apparently it launched a huge comic book line.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still coming out with those comics, aren't they?
Yeah, it's still coming out like almost weekly.
Oh, they're good.
No, they are definitely. I mean, Tom Taylor worked on the first couple years of it. I think he's back on it right now, but it was good. I'm trying to look for more N64 comic book games.
Shaq Fu.
No, Shaq Fu was A, not a comic book game, and B, not on the N64.
Ouch.
Shaq Fu.
Actually, dear wife. Wow.
Actually.
Didn't they just bring back Shaq Fu? Isn't that coming back?
Yeah.
They brought it back as a downloadable game.
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna find much on the 64 to begin with. unless
Superman 64, Riley.
Oh yeah. Shark Fu. Hey, you Pikachu.
Bibis.
Yes.
¿Dónde está mi agua?
What?
¿Dónde está mi agua?
You drank it. I don't know.
No, that one.
Ultimate Spider-Man. That was the one. That was the one on the PS2. That was a fun game. And so was Spider-Man 2, based on the movie. That was a good game too. I remember that was one of the
I
last
filled
games.
that at work. I'll show you all the Spider-Man game that was my deal, but here's some Superman 64 on a Super Nintendo controller.
What was
Even
that
your
old-
dog hates it.
What was that old Super Nintendo game where you could play as Venom and Spider-Man at the same time?
That was Separation Anxiety. Also,
Maximum Carnage.
Maximum Carnage also, yeah.
This was based on the cartoon, and it was a piece of crap.
It was horrible. It's absolutely terrible. It's one of the worst video games you could ever play.
In a short time, your fate will be sealed, Superman.
Is that
Okay.
supposed to be Brainiac? Oh no, that's Lex Luthor?
Man, these are some awesome.
Then there's no time to waste.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, you
Apples.
flew through rings.
Fly through those rings, man.
How? I only have a minute and a half, but to figure out how these controls work.
Well, they just throw you into it. Huh?
Yeah. I think back then games came with instruction manuals, so you had to read that first.
Oh yeah. There you go. You got a little bounce. Oh no.
Hey, somebody asked a really good question in the chat earlier. At what point were you guys blown away when, like, in the difference in graphics? Like, do y'all remember a certain point when you went from either Atari to Nintendo? Then I'm curious more about Ryley and Louise. Like, what was the moment? What was the moment that you all were blown away with graphics?
From the transition from PS2 to PS3.
Was there a specific game?
Metal Gear 4.
Ooh, that's a good one. What about you, Ryley?
Super Mario 64. When the N64 was coming out, because everything I never had a Super Nintendo, and I had a Genesis and I had an NES, and mostly I played the NES. So going from Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt to seeing like Star Fox and Mario 64 was just incredible. It was just an incredible difference.
And mine was Shenmue on the Dreamcast,
Oh, excellent choice. Excellent choice.
which I just got the soundtrack for, and it's awesome.
Isn't that the one where you drive a forklift?
Yep.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
why I love that game, right? Because you collect little Gashapon figures within the game. And I was like, my pure intent was to collect little figures in the game.
I loved that game.
They came out with the remastered edition of 1 and 2 on the PlayStation 4 just recently.
Oh, it is?
Because
Yeah.
3 was kickstarted, and I think we are finally getting it next year.
Oh, I can't wait. I loved 1 and 2.
So for me, I think it's going to be like going from Nintendo to Super Nintendo. Because I remember the first time I saw the pictures of Super Mario World. That's what it was, on a magazine. I had never seen so many colors in a video game. I was just blown away. And then it was the Dreamcast. The first time I saw Sonic. Sonic Adventure. Because I remember thinking, holy crap, they finally got 3D like where we need to be. Because, you know, Mario 64 was amazing, but Sonic was just a lot smoother. Yeah, it had its problems, but it looked and ran a lot smoother.
Yeah, I remember playing that at Target, like the demo, and just being like, holy crap. That was, I agree, that was a big change. That was a big difference.
Yeah, I will never forget that. And honestly, there have been video games that look amazing, but those are the only 2 times I remember just thinking, holy crap, this is the best thing ever, and I cannot wait to buy one of these things.
I never got one, though. A Dreamcast, that is.
Me either.
You two are part of the problem.
Maybe we were part of the solution.
I had a PlayStation 1, so I'm good.
Okay, this is the Spider-Man game that I grew up playing.
Ah, LJN, take it away.
This is the one based on the animated series from the 90s. And I played this one on the Sega Genesis a lot.
Oh yeah, this is the one that was on the Sega CD as well. Wasn't it Spider-Man, Kingpin, or Sinister Six?
It was whatever this is. This was dope. And I'm so bad at it now.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys are talking about. You kids and your PS4 graphics. This looks amazing.
Yeah, it does. You know what? The style of the animation on this reminds me of those little die-cast metal figures that you could get. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The ones
No.
that, like, the tiny little figures?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't even know who makes them, but they have a license for everything, just about.
But I would get those, a lot of those Spider-Man ones, and this kind of reminds me of those. I just died.
Boy, I can tell you grew up playing it.
Ah! Trolled.
Yeah, go shut up. Shut your face.
Let's talk about this book.
No, I don't want to. What are you even talking about?
I'm talking about this huge Fantastic Four Behold Galactus that's even bigger than fucking Nemo. Because I want to talk about comic books for 2 seconds.
You got to be careful with that thing. You're going to drop it on your laptop and then be.
I know. I'm moving it away from my laptop.
Are there Fantastic Four video games?
I don't know the answer to that.
I can't think of one.
I want to say no.
If there is, I bet it would be on a Game Boy.
Probably.
That's random.
I could see that.
The Game Gear X-Men game was awesome, though. There were a couple, but I remember the one about, like, there was a virus going around, like, taking off all the all the dudes, all the male X-Men, and it was the women that had to save the day. Well, that was pretty cool. All right, Jess, I'm sorry. What comic book do you want to talk about, buddy?
PC.
No, I'm done. That's fine.
That's all you wanted to do was show off your badass thing?
Yeah, I just wanted to show off how big the old Galactus is. It's like this big. Came in a box that could house a small car.
It's huge. I was looking at some of this art, and I'm a bigger fan of the Japanese artwork, right? Like this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
For X-Men. I was looking at the first release of the Sega Saturn X-Men game, and it's got this Andy Kubert Wolverine and Jim Lee Magneto.
That's pretty neato.
I love this game. Berserker Barrage. Oh, it's what's his face that did his voice too. The guy from the animated series. So Steve Bloom did his voice, right? Am I not mistaken? The guy did Spike's voice in Cowboy Bebop.
You're thinking about bless you. Are you thinking about in the Wolverine and the X-Men?
No. X-Men cartoon. What was who did the voice for Wolverine in the X-Men cartoon? Gabe, where you at? He would know.
Gabe would know. He'll pop in sometime.
He's listening.
Gabe is always listening.
Guys, I found it.
You found it?
Oh, Fantastic Four.
Oh, yeah, there is one.
I have never played this game.
That looks horrible.
This is on the Game Boy Advance.
That sounds about right.
This looks like it's based on the movie.
Oh, there was a movie video game. I remember that.
I'm ignoring the story.
I'm gonna assume you're getting blasted with cosmic radiation.
I want to assume that I'm tired of clicking through dialogue boxes already.
Jess, more comic book talk. What do you think about the new X23 series? Is it as good as all new Wolverine? Spartan Blue wants to know. I'm going to answer for Jess, Spartan Blue.
Please do.
He has not read it,
Sneeze.
but Ryley and I have. And both Ryley and I think it's an awesome damn book, which means in about 6 months, Jess is going to read it and forget that we said it was an awesome damn book. And he's going to be like, man, have you guys read X23? This is a damn awesome book. And that's exactly how that conversation is going to go down.
And I'm going to say
Like,
I heard about it. I heard about it from 11 o'clock Compton.
Damn it.
I was gonna say, I discovered this book. No one in the world has ever read it.
Have you guys heard about this X23 book?
Is this spinning off of out of her Wolverine story?
It's out of the all new Wolverine, so it's still her and Gabby.
I
But
started reading that. That was pretty good.
it's good. I like the art, and the Cuckoo Sisters are in it. So right off the bat, I'm really hooked.
Oh, I love
Okay.
the stuff for cuckoos.
I'm stuck behind a table.
I've been there. I have been there, brother.
Yeah, I've been messed up before too. This table won't get out of my way. Who would?
I can't do anything.
Apparently, somebody in the chat said there were 3 FF games.
You're kicking that table's ass.
I'm trying, man. That's all I can aspire to do. I've switched to
Jump over it. Come on.
I can't jump. There's no jumping.
You're front flipping.
Yeah, look, I can flip and punch.
Are you sure you're going in the right direction?
That's another possibility. This is. I think that this is too advanced for me.
Oh, there's another table you can beat up.
If that's a Game Boy, if that's Game Boy Advance, those are pretty tight graphics, though, right?
Mm-hmm. Is he still? Come on. I believe in you. There you go. Right there. No, what the fuck?
Fuck you, dude.
Fucking
my-
table.
Why can't I stretch around the table or under the table or through the table?
That is definitely not IKEA furniture. I'll tell you that. That worked for a long time.
Okay, so Gabe is saying Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer on the PS2, PS3, and Xbox.
It was such a terrible game.
Gabe needs to tell me how to beat this level. How do I get past this table?
Is there a guy?
He said to get good.
Gee, that's all the advice I'm getting today.
It won't be the end of it.
Like, I want to quit this, but I also want to get past this table.
Now it's a point of pride.
I know. How many kicks can this freaking table take?
Use the thing to smash it.
I can't. I don't even have the thing. I haven't been granted access.
Don't get mad at me, man. I'm just throwing ideas out at you. Gabe, who did the voice for Wolverine in X-Men the Animated Series?
This is ridiculous.
Ryley, go back. Maybe you just went the. I don't know, man.
We just got $2 from Tyler Trent saying Ryley needs to get good.
I agree. Maybe I can beat up this bed. Maybe if I had paid attention to the dialogue instead of skipping through it all, it would have told me how to beat up the table.
Table 1, Ryley 0.
Holy shit. Now I'm stuck behind this chair. Come on, Reed.
Yeah, Clark Nato. Did y'all hear about Chelsea Kane's Vision book? Got canceled before it was even released. No, I think they just announced it. I don't know. They realized she's a woman writing comic books.
That's almost as terrible as this game.
No, that's not as bad as the announcement of them canceling Impulse, the damn omnibus. I am so pissed about that.
Because apparently the issue quality or whatever is not good enough for oversized comics.
Yeah, whatever.
I told you that.
They can. God. They have tried to release that book so many times and it's been canceled. And now they're like, oh, we'll just release fat trade paperbacks. Right. Like all your other 18 series that you've canceled halfway through. Thanks, DC. That's awesome.
Like Unwritten.
Just
Oh my God.
all this stuff that they've done. Starman, Robin, Nightwing, Birds of Prey.
Transmetropolitan 3.
Shut up, Luis. That's coming. Don't you fucking jinx the mission.
Yeah, you are so gonna owe me In-N-Out Burger. It is so gonna be released on time.
For what? What?
Transmet 3.
Oh, November, isn't it?
So have
Next month.
they actually said why it was canceled? Have they released like an official statement?
They said that
What Ryley said.
it didn't match up with what they were wanting to do with the character.
Huh. Okay.
I don't even know what the hell that means.
They had plans to use the Vision with something somewhere, and I guess that she was doing something with the character, and they said it didn't work.
Huh.
Right, so here's a Fantastic Four game where it's called Fantastic Four Flame On. So you're playing as Johnny Storm.
I wouldn't have guessed.
Holy shit. The Nintendo Switch is getting a lot of Square Enix games.
Oh yeah,
I saw that.
a whole bunch of Final Fantasy games.
Final Fantasy 7, 9, 10, 10-2, and 12.
And they skipped 8 for some reason.
My wife, I think, is the only fan of 8. She loves that stupid game.
Dude, I liked 8.
No, no.
No, you didn't.
6 was
Oh.
good.
I was
Whoa.
just basing it on your taste of comic books. Oh! Sorry. I couldn't let Jess be the only one burning you tonight.
Who, me? I'm having fun. Look at this. This game's way better than the last one.
Just the other Fantastic Four game?
So the table won.
Yeah, I gave up. Table came out on top on that one.
Now it's you versus that window.
We're gonna
No, it's
fucking
you
lynch
versus-
mob Jeb Woodard.
Riley's gonna be at IKEA tomorrow. He's just gonna kick a bunch of tables over.
Oh, Psycho Cleveland's in the house. He's probably wondering what the hell we're doing.
It's bootleg Twitch.
We're making fun of Riley's skills.
I never said I was good at video games.
You did say that.
This proves it.
Do you want to watch me play Guitar Hero?
Your wife did say she was better at you than video games.
Yeah. Oh, I was supposed to perform a fireball.
Woo!
Did you see that? That was cool. Look,
Hey,
I'm so cool.
yes, write that dude's name down.
Sorry?
Write that guy's name down. Jeb Woodard.
Jeb Woodard?
Yeah. Let's try to get him on the show. He's the Clark said he's the editor at Collected Editions at DC. He's got some splaining to do.
Get him on and ask him what the fuck.
Yeah, totally.
Holy
psych him
shit!
out.
Did you see that? I've got a Kamehameha wave in this game.
I feel like I'm watching one of those things that my younger brothers watch on YouTube.
Same.
Like people playing video games. And as the older brother, I don't get that at all. But they're the younger brothers, so it totally makes sense.
It's Captain America.
My cousin is the same way, dude. He will watch people play video games online, and I just don't get it. It bores me to tears.
But yeah, man, they do it. Like they watch all walkthroughs and cutscenes, and I'm like, why don't you guys just play the game?
Fuck you.
I just don't get it.
Fuck you. And fuck you. I'm fighting scrolls. There's scrolls in this game. This is exciting. You can talk all the shit you want, but you're watching me play a video game.
Kind of required.
Yeah, I don't have a choice.
Oh, shit.
I want tacos now. Damn it.
Dude, that's a good idea. Let's go get tacos.
Tacos. Let's go to Del Taco.
There we go.
I want Del Taco.
Dude, this is legit. You guys should play this game.
Hey, Riley, how's Torchies? Is it good?
Yes. Ask Jess.
Way good.
You went to Torchies, right, when you were down there?
Yeah.
Gabe is executive directing this show into PewDiePie coattails. Even the hosts are bored as fuck. Yeah. Leave it to Psycho Cleveland to have the best comments of the night.
Speak for yourself, motherfucker. I'm very unbored.
I could be watching Binging with bit. What the fuck is that? I don't even know what half of these YouTube shows are, including my own. Everyone tune into 11 o'clock comics next week. Tom King interview. Somebody fucking banned Psycho Cleveland for throwing out 11 o'clock comics. Where's Gabe in his timeout?
If we wanted to interview Tom King, we would have had Tom King on the show already.
Yeah, face Psycho Cleveland. Where's 11 o'clock comics now?
Yeah, let them defend themselves.
We had Eric Larson. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we have Fabian Nicieza. We have me, and I'm shooting freaking Kamehameha waves with the Human Torch. So, I don't give a shit.
Have any of those other guests that we've reached out to, have they said anything?
We have Mars.
I know that
Ron Mars on.
What?
Yeah.
Ron Mars.
Oh yeah, we're doing Ron Mars on. Okay.
Yeah, Gabe talked to a couple more.
That's right. Yeah. That's not set in stone though, but they said yes.
And those are ones that if people are getting excited about a Tom King, then I think they'd be excited about that.
That's a big name.
That is a big name. And I'll actually have something to say to him.
Yeah. And they'll have something. One of them will have something to say to you.
Oh, that one.
You may want to sit out of that one.
I might sit that one out.
Oh, come on. That wasn't that bad. It wasn't like when I go off about Daniel Way.
Brian Michael Bendis.
I would love to get Daniel Way and fucking Chuck Austin on the show one day.
I suggested Daniel Way after the Nicieza show, and you were like, you can do that.
I don't know what I would say to him. Like, hey, so you write. That's cool.
If we ever have Bendis on, you are not on that episode, Omar.
Oh, that guy can take a beating. He knows how to deal with people like me.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
Daniel Way is not even writing. He's not doing anything right now, is he?
That's right. We prayed to the comic book gods, and they answered our prayers. He's over there with Chuck Austin and Howard Mackey, or bad Howard Mackey years.
Comic book limbo right now?
Yeah.
Speaking of comic books, have you guys read The Spire?
No, but that looks cool.
It is amazing.
None of us actually read.
Amazing. It made it into the top 12 now. It used to be a top 11. Now it's a top 12.
Top 11 what?
Comics. And how dare you give me shit about having 3 one and done episodes when you've got like 3 top 20
I have 2
non-superhero comic books.
I have 2
Top 20.
Yeah. That was you know how difficult that was? I was gonna do top 10 and I'm like, I can't do it. I have way too many. And then I'm like, oh my
god, me up for having extra episodes.
I was just giving you shit because I like giving you shit. By the way, we got a nice compliment from Spartan Blue.
What was that compliment?
He said he just wanted to let us know that he really appreciates the show and what we do, and he loves all the recommendations and laughs he's gotten from us. So there we go.
Hey. Thank you.
They're laughing at you, not with you.
I'm used to it.
Right. It's Richard Christie.
That's a Howard Stern reference.
I was like, man, I never know what the fuck Psycho Cleveland's talking about. Only when he's correcting me. Everything's my favorite. Lick my balls, man. Not everything. I hate a lot of stuff.
No, he's talking to me because that's what Richard Christie on the Howard Stern show says. And
I
have so many favorite
lick my balls references. Sorry, my bad. No, you know what? I'm leaving it because I know you're going to say something later.
Yeah. I read a bunch of good books that I'm going to do a review on.
What have you read?
I read The Spire.
Ooh.
I read
Never heard of that.
Saucer Country.
Hey.
I read Empire.
Did you guys know that Bruce Banner is the Hulk?
Yep. You play the Super Nintendo one? That one's good. I like Empire.
Rumble.
Rumbo.
Let me see some of that art in Rumble.
In Rumble?
Yeah.
Rumble was great.
It really was.
It's fun. The art is great too.
Let me get me here. Okay.
What's it about?
It's about a a god that's reincarnated into a scarecrow warrior and is trying to reclaim his body back.
Mm-hmm. I never want to hear you make fun of manga again, but continue.
It's really good.
Yeah, I love the art. It's such
Yeah,
a good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
Digging
it's
that.
really it's a good book. It's really
Who's the-
clutch.
Who's the publisher on that?
Image.
Oh.
Image.
And what was the book that you read? Spiral, you said?
The Spire.
Spire. You said that was really, really good?
This is really, really good. It won an Eisner in 2016.
Is this still going?
Nominee. Yeah,
Is it
is it what?
Is it still an ongoing or is it done?
No, it's done. It was a one and done. Here's some of the artwork.
Cool.
It is, Omar, you might like it. It's got tinges of manga-esque art in it or anime kind of art. Let me find some of the...
Which still goes with my argument that I think you're just in denial.
You could be right.
He just doesn't want to admit that he's a weeb.
I think if we could get him into Berserk, he'd like that.
I'm wondering what he had. I know I always ask, but I forget the things that he's tried.
He tried Monster. He didn't care for that.
Monster has a little bit of a slow build up,
It's very slow.
but it's good.
I did
So
read
good.
Uzumaki, and I liked that a lot.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe you need to like stick with Junji Ito and then go from there.
I do have 2 more of his books that I'm interested in reading because I did dig that.
Fragments of Horrors is really short. Geo is short, and then the Tomei book. That one's excellent. And it's going to be Halloween, so it's time to read those.
Exactly.
It's time to break out the horror books.
That's exactly right.
You gonna buy 20th Century Boys?
I am not. I'm not sure why Tyler Trent thinks I might be.
You should.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's great. There's a lot of good ones out there, man. Maybe you stick with horror for a little bit, especially with October coming around. Read some of that and then branch out. Before I know it, you'll be reading Sailor Moon and be like, guys, have you heard of this fucking manga about these chicks? Amazing. I discovered this the other day.
No one's ever heard of this series before, but I found it, and I'm going to recommend it to all of you.
I'm gonna make a video, make it a 10-part series. Why I love Sailor Moon.
Have you guys ever heard of manga? Did you know that the Japanese, they also make comics? Apparently they've been doing it for a while.
Fuck, I want to go see Mandy this weekend. That looks really good.
I have been researching my horror movies for October, and I'm going to start out with The Conjuring and Oculus. The Oculus. Oculus and The Conjuring and The Witch.
Should start with Hereditary.
Oh, yeah. Hereditary. That's what I meant.
Hereditary was really good.
I haven't seen that yet. I know you liked it.
I loved it.
Yeah, that's right.
So where are we at with the Henry Cavill news? Is he back as Superman? Do we know?
No, I'm pretty sure he's done, dude. He's doing The Witcher.
I'm at the place where I don't give a fuck, and I didn't give a fuck, and it's funny, honestly.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Affleck's done too. He was spotted this weekend being drunk in the backseat of his car with Jack in the Box in his hand.
Seriously?
Right.
Jack in the Box?
Yeah, it's not a flattering picture. It's kind of sad, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. I think he's done with this Batman, Superman, Justice League crap. So
he's just getting
Ooh.
fat.
Look at Psycho Cleveland throwing out some Dario Argento. Suspiria is one of my favorite horror movies. I love that movie. And I think that's why I liked It Follows, because it reminded me of that.
I loved It Follows.
Like,
Hey, look how bad I am at this video game.
What are you playing? Let me see.
Captain Planet and the Planeteers.
That's not a comic book.
No, I didn't say it was. Fine.
Affleck is in rehab right now.
Is he?
That's what Gabe is saying.
Poor bastard. That divorce, man, messed him up. He's a great director, too. I love his shit, but... Yeah.
I think he's just a little too in love with himself, though. That was always my problem with Affleck.
Catwoman walking out on him messed him up.
Captain Tsubasa!
You got it.
I recognize that shit from all the way over here across the country.
Cycle Cleveland, have you been listening to the Suspiria soundtrack from Tom York? Because he just redid it.
Oh,
Omar, can you tell me what they're saying here?
Hey man, you want to go like get some drinks and get some chicks? The guy's like, nah, dude, I'm into dudes. Don't let me translate Japanese. It always turns into weird erotica.
Can you read Japanese?
I would love to hear what you have to say about this.
Wait, Omar, you can read Japanese?
No,
No.
unless I'm trying to get a job and my job resume says, shit, yeah, I read Japanese.
I read Japanese comic books.
But so in Suspiria, didn't Goblin take Yes, Jesus Loves Me and play it backwards in one of their songs for the main theme of Suspiria? Or Psycho Cleveland, correct me, is that urban legend, if you will?
Yeah, what other albums? Jess, you probably know. What are some of the albums that they say if you play it backwards, you hear some weird shit?
Chicago, that was one, wasn't it?
Chicago.
I just remember from, what was it? Little Nicky? Hated that movie, but that was the best part. Chicago is awesome.
Some of Led Zeppelin, you're supposed to be able to play backwards and hear some stuff. I never heard it.
Yeah, Stairway
I
to
tried
Heaven.
it, but I never heard it.
I can't read Japanese, Omar. You failed me.
I know. There's these things called English patches, though, that you can put on your game.
There's this thing called I Don't Care Enough to play a Super Nintendo soccer game based on a manga.
Well, that's the only way you can play Mother 3.
True. Mother, or Earthbound Zero, Mother Zero.
Here's a comic book question.
Oh.
No.
Been thinking about jumping into Spider-Man. Could I jump into Big Time and read up to Superior Spider-Man?
You
Yeah.
sure as hell can.
Yeah, but I would actually say start with Straczynski's one.
But then you have to get through the whole
Since past.
exactly.
Yeah.
We talked about that, Luis.
Which I just found out the other day. Apparently, Osborn and Gwen Stacy had children.
Yeah, oh God, I hated that story. I hated that story.
Is that okay? So nobody answered my question. Is that still canon?
We don't know because they don't talk about it. It's one of those things that, well, because it's one of those things that we don't know exactly what the hell One More Day got rid of and what stayed. It really depends on the writer. I'm sure. Like the thing was, Straczynski didn't even want it to be Norman's daughter. He wanted it to be Peter's kids because there's kids. It's a brother and sister. And then they came back for another run, Since Remembered or something like that. Oh man, that series. Shut up, Gabe. It's not canon.
It's kind of like how the Sentry took Rogue's virginity.
We should have Psycho Cleveland in one day as a guest, so I can make fun of him. It's not as fun when he can't defend himself. He's on the chat. Come on, let's do it, Jess. Be me and you.
Have Cycle Cleveland on?
Yeah, we're about the only ones that could stomach him. That guy's my cup of tea. I thought it was Jess. It is Jess. We all know Jess is Psycho Cleveland and John P. He's a fucking maniac.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm all those guys.
There's Gabe, the money man.
Oh my god.
All right, guys. I got about 2 more minutes left in me.
I gotta cook dinner. Sorry.
Okay.
He said never. You turned us down. You're not Tom King, asshole.
Yeah, because Tom King would say yes.
Totally would.
He's gonna be, oh man, these guys have a good pedigree of creators on their show. Yeah, I better do this. This is gonna be good for my career.
This is what you guys get when we don't have guests. You get bootleg Twitch.
This would be a good time for me to talk about InStockTrades.com, where you can get up to 50% off your collected editions. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. Every quarter, there's an Omniboslive discount. Over $50 in the United States in the shipping. Gets you free shipping. God damn it, I almost made it. Over $50 in the United States in orders gets you free shipping. Fabulous packaging, fabulous customer service. That's InStockTrades.com. And I apologize to Emily's mom if she heard me mess that up.
Also, you can get packages shipped to you on Sundays.
Yes. Ryley was like amazed that he was got a box on the Sunday from IST. What did it make you feel like?
Made me feel like Harry fucking Potter.
That's right, man.
I just opened the box and they were like, "Congratulations, you're a wizard, Harry." And I was like, "Oh shit, you got the wrong address."
Did an owl drop it?
Maybe.
That was a strong ass owl.
Yeah, 35 pounds of books. That was yesterday's package. Was 35 pounds of books. That was a good one. I was trying to play Die Hard right there. But yeah, I'm loving UPS doing the books because they'll drop off my packages at like 8 p.m. So it's a day and I'm like, oh man, I thought I was getting my books today. Oh my God. And I finish eating dinner and there's a knock on the door. I'm like, yes, books. Or it'll be Sunday and I'm not expecting anything until Monday. And then all of a sudden there's a knock on the door and I'm like, what? VIP service? Books on a Sunday?
Do you want to see how many Weird World books I got, Ryley, on the Marvel sale?
I get books all the time on Sunday.
Holy shit!
I got this many Weird World books.
You mean Battle World?
Battle World. Yeah. Secret Wars World.
You know they just announced an omnibus this afternoon, right?
Shut up.
It's only $10 too for the entire thing because they suck.
Hey, you know what I can't wait for is that that Marvel Cinematic Universe omnibus. That was a joke. Come on, guys, laugh. Jesus Christ. You're all sitting there like this.
I had to think about it. I'm like, which one are you talking about?
Yeah, I did went over my head. Like a lot of things.
The Marvel Cinematic Universe omnibus that has like all those little 2-issue miniseries that take place.
Yeah.
That's an omnibus?
Yeah.
Yeah, pass.
Are you kidding? It's gonna be the greatest book that ever happened.
So you guys need to go and get us more guests, or else you'll get more of this color commentary.
Well, we're trying to get Cycle Cleveland, but he can't fork over $25 to Gabe.
Hey,
Is that what the interview fee is?
That's what apparently Gabe is charging people.
We're gonna start getting random people, like the guy that does Jess's lawn and stuff like that.
is that how much we charged Fabian Nicieza to come on?
I charged him a special signing to come to my house and do a special one-on-one signing. It's going to be me, him, and a Sharpie and all my comic books.
Yeah, that was kind of creepy before the show last week or whatever. You were like, Fabian, come by. You can sleep in my library. Your name's all over the place. I felt like I was watching the beginning of like
I just pictured
animal.
Goodbye Horses started playing in the back.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Fabian,
funny.
put the lotion on.
Dave K, that's exactly what he said. He said, I feel like this is the plot to Misery. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm not going to cut your feet off. I promise. I just want you to write me good Deadpool fanfic. That's all I want, Fabian.
That's why I was so quiet, was because I was creeped out. I was like, I don't want to get in the way of Omar and his like fever dreams of romance with him and Fabian.
Oh my god. There will be fan fiction of that.
There were hearts in your eyes, dude. You were like,
I was like, one of those manga
the
guys.
pre-show chat, and this was the part that I found funny, was you had been on the phone with him for a while,
Yeah.
like trying to get him how to get it on, get
The computer. You better finish that sentence.
how to get the computer on, and you're sitting there like, hey, you know, turn this on, and I hear him on your phone. I heard him say like something was deleted from my desktop, and I was like, oh no, did Omar just fuck up Fabian Nicieza's computer? And I asked you, I was like, is everything okay? And then all of a sudden you finally got it on there, and you had been talking to him like for a while, like 15, 20 minutes or something, I feel like.
Yeah, we got to know each other really well.
And then like the mood changed as soon as like y'all were on camera, and you were like, okay, I am a huge fanboy. And I was like, I'm like, oh my God, what did I walk into? But then I sat there and I thought about the fact that like if it was Grant Morrison, I would have been doing the same thing. I would have been like giggling, like, Grant, come hang out with me.
Come hang out with me. Can you say my name again, please? Yeah. There's a few creators that I really like. I think Chris Claremont would be another one that I would be like, oh my God, it's the X-Men. Like, and I'm talking to the X-Men. I'm not talking to Chris Claremont. Right?
Hey, if we ever get Mike Mignola on, I'd be the same way as Omar. So
cool. What about you, Jess? Who would who would you be starstruck by?
Starstruck?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Adams.
Yeah. Gosh.
Really, Jess?
Good question.
Jess doesn't actually read comics, don't you know? He just takes recommendations.
Takes recommendations and puts them on his YouTube channel.
I will say Alex Ross.
That's I
That's a good one. I met him once. He's a nice dude. He's a nice guy. It's a good
Jess
one. I wish
watches 11 o'clock comics and then just says whatever they say about stuff.
Fact.
Jess doesn't even know who Alex Ross is. He just looked at a book and it was the name Alex Ross on the Earth X omnibus that he just got. He hasn't shelved it yet, so it's right there and it says Alex Ross on the cover.
You know, I would love to meet Ennis. Ennis would probably get me that.
You're 100% right.
I'd
Ross.
I'd love to pick Ennis's mind on a lot of things going on in the industry right now.
Pretty good. I think I tell you, like, there are people that I think Chris Claremont would definitely be one that I would be just like, I love you, like every 25 minutes. Just wanted to say I love you. That's it. You remember that time when you wrote X-Men? Yeah, that was awesome.
Remember the 17 years that you wrote the X-Men continuously?
It was great.
So take me through the X-Men, Chris Claremont. Everything. 3 hours.
Can you really quickly tell me where you would have gone with the next 200 issues of X-Men? Like, really quick?
Spartan Blue 14. Send your real name to Gabe at omnibroslive@gmail.com, and then Gabe will give it to me.
Damn it, Gabe, quit fucking charging people for stupid stuff.
Send your real name to Gabe at omnibroslive@gmail.com, and Gabe will forward it to me, and then I can let you into the Omnibus Collectors group.
Jess, you're not authorized.
What's that?
Jess isn't authorized to do that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I took my rights away because you let a lot of sex bots in.
I forgot Ryley was on.
There was a person that was in the group one time that posted like a total like clickbait type, like one of those like Ray-Ban things. But then like people started commenting on it and they responded.
I remember that.
They were like, I'm not a computer, I'm a real person. And we were like, what the fuck? Then why are you
Did they really sell Ray-Ban then? Was there a deal on Ray-Bans? Were they legit or were they like bootleg Ray-Bans?
Shit, I don't know.
These are questions you should have asked.
We kicked them out too fast.
You know what? No.
We could have gotten a deal.
Morrison would totally get me like that. If we
okay.
Get Grant Morrison on. I would love to get Grant Morrison on.
Let's get Weird Al Yankovic on.
That'd be cool.
Just going out of left field.
Yeah.
Just fucking broaden our horizons here.
I don't think I'd understand half of what Morrison would say, but it'd be cool to have him on.
Yeah, what did you mean by Final Crisis? Can you translate that for me? 'Cause I feel stupid.
And he would translate it, and you'd still be like, "Huh? Okay."
He said he just wanted everyone to love comics. That's what he said about Final Crisis.
Love is the answer, like Elon Musk said. Grant Morrison or near Grant Morrison? Oh yeah, Gabe did get wasted with Grant Morrison. He didn't remember it.
And Warren Ellis, right?
I think he said it was both of them. Because he went to Morrison Con that one year that they had it. Lucky bastard.
Morrison Con. Wow. I've never met Morrison. I always wanted to, though. That'd be a good one.
One day we'll have our own convention.
It'll
But
be at Jess's house. We'll
it'll
give
be
everybody the
Ryley
address.
It'll be Jess's house.
We'll give everybody the address. We won't tell him.
Everybody just shows up there.
Can you imagine the kind of party that we would throw at Jess's house? He's like, guys, I'm going to bed in like an hour. It's 9:30.
Oh, 9:30. I'm already in bed. This is way past my bedtime. I'm nodding off.
All right, guys, I gotta bounce. It was good to see you all. Good to talk about video
Thank
games.
you to the chat. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to my co-hosts, Ryley Mo, Comics Guide 101 Luis, and Omar from Near Mint Condition. Thank you, guys. This chat was great. We enjoyed the Twitch stream. Peace and love and love.
I would love next week to talk about the actual Spider-Man game after I've played it. So hopefully that can happen.
Okay. Do you have the final